Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Melissa. I'm your host, Melissa. Cheers. I actually have tea this morning rather than coffee, and I'm spilling it. We bought this Christmas blend loose tea from Knott's Berry Farm last year. If you guys aren't familiar with Knott's Berry Farm, it's just like 5 minutes away from Disneyland. It's an amusement park. It was built literally on a farm, and like back in the day, it opened, I think, before Disneyland even opened. But it's really a fun place to go. My husband and I like going there at Christmas time. That's usually the time of year we go. This year, that's obviously not going to happen. But anyways, I bought this 2 bags of this loose tea from one of the vendors there. They're based in LA, actually, I believe. And anyways, it's really good. I had forgotten we had it. It kind of got stashed away in the pantry, and then we recently moved. So I cleaned out that pantry and thought, oh my gosh, this tea. So anyway, sometimes I like to switch it up, especially during the day, and it's an herbal blend, both of them. So I could drink it any time of day and it won't like keep me up at night because there's no caffeine in it. So anyways, I am drinking tea today, which is a good change for me. Okay, so this morning I want to continue our Forrest Gump series. And today's quote is from Forrest Gump's mother. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And if you didn't believe in this quote before or whatever before 2020, then I guarantee that now you believe it, that life is like a box of chocolates. You really never do know what you're gonna get. This year has been a very emotional year, a very stressful year for many people. I feel like it's been stressful for every single person. Like every single person, whether you are, not affected financially, you still have a job, the business you're in is just thriving, which we are both very grateful, my husband and I, that we have been very, very blessed this year to, knock on wood, be really good financially and healthy too. Like as far as we know, no one in our family has caught COVID-19. No one knows for sure. No one's been tested. But so far, we're all happy and healthy for the most part. But it really has taken a toll. And it's like, so this year we have my husband and I are going through like a big life transition, which we expected and we planned for. But oftentimes, like just that alone can be stressful. And then you throw the layer of a global pandemic on top of that, and it's like, whoa, hold on. And then we have the protests and Black Lives Matter, and now a lot of the West Coast is on fire. These are just it's all a lot to take in. They're all a lot of really big problems that we have to deal with. And so how do we handle these? Because I know for me, having challenges with anxiety just intensifies it, with everything going on. And it's like there's always an underlying anxiety. I have felt like that since this pandemic started. Always this underlying feeling of anxiety. I feel like survivor's guilt because we're doing really well. My husband and I are very grateful. We've always had a roof over our head, knock on wood, where we've always had money to buy whole, real nutrient-dense food. We've been really, really blessed given what's happening in the world today, and there's a little bit of survivor's guilt going on too. So how do we handle life when it is like a box of chocolates and you really do never know what you're going to get? You never know what you're going to bite into. The first thing that comes to my mind is learning to be flexible. Learning to be flexible. And I repeat this a lot because this is one of the biggest life lessons I have learned. I was not always flexible. I was a lot like my grandfather, my Papa Bob, and my dad, to where I like to control everything. I like to have a plan, and I like stability, and I like being in my comfort zone. Well, over the years, I've learned that that doesn't always work. That's not always beneficial. And when I started growing, when I started becoming more flexible and kind of rolling with the punches, if you will, I felt personal growth. Like, I felt it inside me. I felt myself changing. And that was huge for me. And I feel like I'm handling this whole pandemic situation and what my hubby and I have happening right now, have going on in our life, so much better than I would before. My husband is he likes moving a lot, like physically moving to different places. He likes that. He likes that flexibility. And I've learned to be more open to that and to be more flexible in that sense from him, just being with him. Like, I knew in the beginning, like, if I was going to be with him, stay with him, continue dating him, and then eventually marry him, that was the life that I was going to be forced to adjust to if I wanted to be with him. So I, was like, fine, let's just do this. And so being flexible and being a problem solver, being solution oriented, like, what can you do? Like, think of like, okay, we have this problem, we've had tons of issues. We've come into tons of issues building our camper van out. And it's like, okay, this is very frustrating. And we definitely would let our emotions, like, ride that wave of emotions, like, oh, it's so frustrating. But then once we let it all out, we'd kind of sit back and be like, okay, what are our options here? What can we do? And we discuss, like, okay, well, we could do this might work, or we could do this, or we could do that. Okay, what do we feel is the best option? Weigh the pros and cons of all our options, and then just see what would be the best fit. And honestly, there's no right or wrong answer. No right or wrong answer. It's just the answer, the solution that feels right to you. And then really practicing self-care on a daily basis. One thing that is really important to me is having my coffee in the morning. Like, having that ritual of sitting in bed or on the couch or just wherever with my husband and having a cup of coffee in the morning and just talking, like, hey, how'd you sleep? How you doing? How you feeling? And having a real conversation. And then moving my body. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes of stretching and that's it. Because sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes I'm not really feeling like a really difficult workout. Other days I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And those days I feel amazing. But really just getting up, stretching my body, being mindful of when I'm sitting, like taking walking breaks, getting up, walking around. Most people are working from home. If you're one of those people working from home, like, throw in a load of laundry, spend 10 minutes doing the dishes, spend a few minutes unloading the dishwasher. Don't let it distract you, but use your break opportunities to do stuff around the house and just move. Or one thing I was doing a lot of in the beginning of this pandemic was between about 2 and 3:30 in the afternoon, I'd go for like a 30-40 minute walk in my neighborhood. I'd listen to a podcast if I wanted to, or I would walk in silence and just walk around, get out, get some sunshine, get some fresh air. And it just felt really, really good just to move my body for that. So your daily self-care, what are you doing? And then give yourself permission to feel. Like, feel the feelings, you know? Like, if you feel like crying, cry when it's appropriate. Obviously, you don't want to sit and cry on a Zoom meeting at work. However, if you are in the shower and you just are like, everything's just getting to you and you just feel the tears coming on, just let them come out. Give yourself permission to feel. We've got to just let our emotions ride that wave. And then you'll probably feel so much better after just letting it all out of your system and really riding that wave. With that being said, don't let yourself have a pity party for more than 5 minutes, okay? This is something I learned a long time ago. I'm not always 100% at it. However, most of the time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a pity party. I'm gonna sit and cry for a few minutes. And then I'm gonna pull myself together and I'm gonna figure out a solution either to my problem or how I can make myself feel better. Or, usually when I'm having that pity party, I'm crying, I have all these thoughts going through my head. And I've trained myself through my training to become a health coach. I've also trained myself. What I teach my clients to do is to, like, why am I feeling like this? Like, what happened in my childhood? You don't need to dig that deep, but really just be like, what's the limiting belief? What's the story I'm telling myself about this? Am I not believing in myself? Am I saying, oh, you're always crying, you're always anxious, then I know I need to change my story and then figure out a solution on how to change your story. We all have limiting beliefs, and that's okay. We all have them, but really overcoming those limiting beliefs and changing your stories, that's where you are successful. And that's where you can change. So, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. 2020 has definitely proven that. It's like, okay, I want to feel like God, universe, whoever you are, like, I get it. I tell the universe every day, I get it. I understand. There's changes we need to make. And I want to be a solution rather than the problem. I want to be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. So learn how to roll with the punches. What's one thing you could do in the next 24 hours? One thing you could do to help you deal with life's challenges and the unexpected curveballs that life throws at us. It's one thing you could do in the next 24 hours. It could be self-care. It could be learning how to solve problems better. It could be reading a motivational book, anything. Just figure that out, what works best for you. And if you try it for a while, it doesn't work, try something else. Life is one big experiment. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe below, and I'll see you around. Bye.